morning, ladies and gentlemen, David here, and welcome back to another video. I want to talk about Skies of Arcadia some more. I made a video 2 weeks ago, last week, talking about what I am hoping to see, what I'm praying to see, and what I'm wishing to see from Sega and Atlas at the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct that we're going to see in April 2nd, more precisely. So in 2 weeks from now, I'll be streaming this show, by the way. Please check it out if you want to stay tuned. One of my things that I wanted to see, which I called a dream prediction or a dream wish, because I don't really think it's likely to happen anytime soon, is Skies of Arcadia. I kept thinking about that game. It's a fan favorite. It is also one of my favorites for sure. Skies of Arcadia came out on Dreamcast in 2000 and in 2002, if I'm not mistaken. The Legends version came out on the Gamecube as well. If you want to have a physical copy of these games, both of these complete in box, they're about $150 US each, if I'm not mistaken. I'm still trying to get my hands on the GameCube version, so if anyone has one clean copy, complete copy for GameCube and wants to hook me up, I'm ready to pay. So I am looking forward to that. That being said, a lot of y'all watching, myself included, are hoping and praying for a remake or a remaster of some sort. I'll be honest, I think a remaster is way more likely, and it's actually what is rumored, kind of leaked as well, I would say. So what I want to do today is I want to go over all the information that we have or that we got in the past, talking about a potential remaster, a potential re-release, or a potential remake of Skies of Arcadia. I know there's a ton of videos out there, there's a ton of blog posts, there's a ton of Twitter posts about a potential remaster. So what I did is I looked over the internet, I searched a little bit, and I skimmed over everything that I could find to gather what I would consider reliable-ish information. That being said, as I'm saying, reliable-ish, anything that isn't from Sega directly should be taken with a grain of salt, so don't get your expectations up, just hope for the best. The first thing that I could find that I would say is kind of reliable is March 2023. So in March of 2023, there is an industry insider, an industry leaker that is kind of well known. I would say is kind of hit and miss too, called Special Nick. He's the co-host of the Xbox Era podcast. He says a ton of stuff. He says a lot of things. Some of them turn out to be right and turn out to be true, but some of them they generally are completely wrong. So it really depends on what he says and when he says it. Sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not. So again, take this with a grain of salt. But what he said in that podcast is that Sega is working on a Skies of Arcadia remaster internally. So it's not like given to another company, they're doing it internally. And he claimed to have seen photos of said remaster. Insider Gaming reported on that as well, which I would consider Insider Gaming to be a reliable source of information, even more than a Special Nick. Generally, when they say something, they have backing and they make sure that their information is reliable and that their project won't be canceled before talking about it. And they claim to have a picture of the remaster and everything. So again, lots of industry chatter and discussion around a potential remaster for this game. Take it with a grain of salt, please. Another thing that recently happened, by recently I mean January of 2025, is Sega, yes, the official Sega, so this is coming from Sega, they decided to renew the trademark for the Skies of Arcadia IP in Japan. A lot of people immediately jumped the gun and started doing videos about that, and I wanted to just back off from it a little bit, think about what does it mean, and then get back to you guys. I would not get too excited about that specifically. Yes, when a company decides to renew a trademark, it could be because they're working on something or they're getting ready to announce and show something about their IP. It can also just be to protect the IP. So for example, if Sega is like, hey, we're not doing anything with this thing, but we're not letting it die, so we're just going to renew and trademark the IP again. So it could mean something, it could not mean anything. Another thing that it could mean is they are giving the IP to another company to do something with it. Sega is actually well known to license their IP to another company. One recent example that I can think of is they licensed to Forever Entertainment, Panzer Dragoon, or the House of the Dead remaster that they did for Switch. So they took their IP, They gave it to Forever Entertainment so they can develop some sort of port. That's also an option. That's also something that they could do with Skies of Arcadia. The rumors that Special Nick talked about are saying, and Insider Gaming as well, they're saying that it's in-house, so it will be developed in-house by Sega, but just note that this is also a little thing to keep in mind. A trademark could also mean merchandise. Think about this for a second. There is Skies of Arcadia merchandise, and there is recent Skies of Arcadia merchandise. For myself, I briefly mentioned that in my previous video. I am not allowed to give specific details. I am aware of official Skies of Arcadia products that are going to release to the public in the next year or so. So it could just be that. So the January trademark renewal from Sega for the IP could just be because of the Skies of Arcadia merch that I've heard about. Or maybe that merch is actually related to some sort of project that Sega's doing of bringing back Skies of Arcadia. I can't help but think about this. I don't know anything about the game itself, but I do know that merch is coming for this game. And it was licensed by Sega to another company. It's not Sega merchandise, which means something is happening with Skies of Arcadia. I have nothing else that I want to report on for Skies of Arcadia, y'all. Think about it. The only reliable-ish source of information that I wanted to talk about is Insider Gaming, Special Nick on Xbox Era. Those are two sources of information that talked about Skies of Arcadia. The trademark, I can't help but think that it doesn't mean much. It's not the first time that Sega renewed this trademark. The game's 20 years old. We have never seen anything from it. We've seen tens of thousands of Sonic the Hedgehog ports or ports of a bunch of other games. Sega is doing their retro revival initiative. That's also something to think about. Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio, Golden Axe, Shinobi, all of these IPs are coming back from Sega, which, thank God, they are deserving of a revival of some sort, so that is a good thing. But at the same time, Skies of Arcadia is a classic, and there is so much people asking for it that I can't help but think that they're going to do something at this point. Are they going to do something like in the very near future, like, for example, to announce something at the Switch 2 Direct? I hope so, but I don't expect it. And I wanted to get this video out there because sadly, I think there's too many people that are like expecting Skies of Arcadia to come back mainly because of the trademark renewal. I want to protect y'all. I don't think this means much, sadly. So what do you guys think? Would you purchase a Skies of Arcadia remaster, port, or remake of some sort? I do know that, hey, I would be there day one no matter what they do with it. It could just be an HD port, like kind of crusty-ish and don't do much with it, and I would buy it. Like, for example, the Chrono Cross Radicals Dreamer Edition that Square Enix did. That was very much a game from the same era that looks a little bit similar in terms of the original game. Doesn't look as good as Skies of Arcadia, but still, they just put it in HD, kind of effortless. They dropped it. It was buggy at first. They patched it, but here we go. At least it's playable, and at least the fans of the title are looking forward to it, and at least the fans of the title are able to play their favorite game now, which isn't the case for Skies of Arcadia. So Sega, if you're listening, just a straight port would please us, I'm sure. Drop a comment and tell me what you think, you guys. If I missed any type of information about this potential port or remaster or remake, just tell me, because I am just like you, hoping for anything. Thank you so much for watching, y'all. You have a good day. Bye.